Oh man. Oh man. I'm excited to do this. What's up, everyone? My name's AJ Wrights Crypto. Thanks for being here today. Monday, 10:37 a.m. at the new got my microphone popping off right there. But hey, we're here in the new setup, the new studio. We got we got some things. We got a hell of a show planned for you today. We got to talk about, you guys liked back in the day when I talked about, I did a video where there were 40 charts in the top 100 that all had cup and handle setups. Well, there's not exactly 40 charts right now, but there are a couple charts right now that have some pretty promising cup and handle setups, and I am going to go into that. Got a bunch of news today. Got a lot to talk about, but before we do that, we have to talk about the main story. The main story, and the main story is that I'm here with my good friend J Chains in the house. What's up, dude?
Yo, what's up, fam? How we feeling?
We're doing good, man. So J Chains and I are keeping the ball rolling. James will be here helping out with my live stream every day. This week, we are streaming every day this week. And then next week, it's just Monday, Tuesday, because we're going to ETH Denver in the karate combat fight and everything. But it is a new norm to have J Chains in the studio doing this show with us. So Chains, what's up, man? How you doing today?
Chilling, man. I'm really excited to kick this off. As you said, crypto doesn't sleep, and so the show keeps rolling, and that's what we're doing, man. Keep that continuity going. You and I have had a tremendous opportunity to be hallway buddies for the last little while, man. Yeah. So this is something we've talked about doing for a while, and I'm just juiced that we made it happen.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I'm glad you're here. Good, obviously Grogger fam for life, pizza gang in the house. So certainly excited to have my good friend J Chains helping out with the stream and all that like that. We are going to update the stream. We're going to have overlays. We're going to have graphics. We're going to have things on the screen that we haven't had before. And I think it's good to slowly progress. This show started with one laptop and one microphone. And now, we have real cameras and real lights and real things. And it's you guys, and it's cool that, y'all get to slowly see the progression over time. And I'm really grateful to have a good friend and good help. So J Chains, bro, thanks for being here, man.
Absolutely, brother. Let's get it.
Hell yeah. Good stuff. So here let me check out the chat. Shout out to everybody in chat. Bitcoin Henry, Nando33, More Heart, J5, Self Daddy. That's a strange name. Alan Huerta, SWFL Crypto. Everybody in the house, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Someone right there said, Chris K, how do I get into the Telegram group? I sent an email and no response. Well, listen, sir, I am sorry that we haven't got to you yet. I'm going to go through all of the emails today. Keep in mind, this weekend, we moved out of the last studio and set this one up, and it was quite a mission. It took a lot of time. I didn't even trade this weekend, so you didn't miss much from the Telegram group, but we are at it full speed, full steam ahead this weekend. So if you have sent an email and didn't get a response, you will be getting a response, and the group will be getting some setups here very shortly. So very cool. So let's get into it. There's a lot to talk about in crypto today. And I mentioned this earlier. When you start seeing stories, like before I even pull this up, this country is buying institutional crypto, or there was a ban lifted in Zimbabwe, or this state is doing this thing and this person's buying this much. When you start seeing stories again and again and again that are along the headline of West Virginia proposes Bitcoin reserve bill, we are going to see 1,000 stories like this. And the details, they don't matter. What matters is our favorite word: adoption. Adoption, adoption, adoption. And the thing is that I remember last bull run. J Chains, you were here last bull run.
Yep.
You remember how often it was just like, this place is buying X. This country is doing this. Talk about why it's kind of like right now people are giving up, because I know traders that are like, dude, I think it's over. I think we saw the top. And I'm like,
we couldn't be farther from the truth, right?
Yeah.
The game has changed now. Like you said, now it's nation states are buying. There was something, an article, it was last week, I think we were up to 20 states. West Virginia might be 21 now. We might be even more of these individual states that are looking to do the strategic reserve of Bitcoin. That's just on a state by state level, right? That still doesn't include the federal level. And then you look at other countries throughout the world. I mean, I think China's right on our heels. We're number one as far as countries that hold Bitcoin. China's right on our heels. And then, you know, there's a list that goes down where even like the Kingdom of Bhutan, I think they're number 5 on the list of countries with well over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. And so like what the fundamentals haven't changed, right? But what we're starting to see is the things that are around this whole ecosystem grow. So when you say like, oh, pack it up, baby, like the run's over, like the run hasn't even started yet.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And, you know, we're starting to see these orders. West Virginia proposes Bitcoin reserve bill. How about this one? This one's even better. Wyoming Treasury should run on blockchain. So, guys, these are the stories, the types of headlines that you're going to see again and again and again. And do the details matter? To a degree, they do. But the truth is, this is how we know that what we saw Thanksgiving into December, that was not the top. I will stand by that statement. The Bitcoin halving cycle has not let us down yet. A year and a half after the last halvings, Q3, Q4 this year. So I think, you know, February, March, April, May, they might make us suffer. They might make us think that we are so wrong and we're idiots and we're going to the bottom. You know, that's what it's going to feel like.
Patience will be rewarded ultimately. Yep. Like at the end of the day, this will be, we've talked about this for years, man, about crypto, the largest transformation of wealth in the history of humankind. And we're starting to see all of this, the fundamental part of that play out. Yep. And so if you can be patient, if you can like just understand like the whole financial system is changing, just hang on, baby. Don't capitulate yet. If you haven't done it now, don't do it. Just hold on tight because 100% about ready to rip.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. I got a lot of charts pulled today, and I'm actually going to show you guys a handful of charts that are coming from the Telegram group really fast. T in the chat says, how do I find the Telegram group? All right, well, it's a private group. You cannot find it. If you're not in the Telegram group and you search for it, all you will find are fake impersonating bots with my PFP trying to get you to do something. They are not me. It's a private group. The only way you can get in is by sending an email to the email address ajalphagroup@gmail.com, sending an email and going through the process. It's the only way to get in the group. It's a private group. You cannot find it. So I don't want anyone to try to search for it and get themselves in trouble. We get another chance to accumulate, says FD White Invests, 100%. This is our chance. And if you're not scaling in now, I would highly suggest scaling in. Even make sure you guys head over. I just did a video yesterday. It was, you know, kind of like a how to buy on Bitunix. Very simple. I bought $20,000 in VeChain yesterday. I believe that any VeChain you buy under 4 cents is an absolute steal. And the giveaway for Bitunix is still live. I think I'm going to leave it up probably until like Wednesday or Thursday this week. And it's pinned to the top of my Twitter. 5 people are getting $200. All you have to do is retweet this tweet and sign up for Bitunix with that link there below. And there is a deposit bonus running for a couple more days where if you deposit $100, you get 50, 400 to get 100, 1,000 to get 200. And you can also deposit and get VIP based off of how much you deposit, which is like, you know, your fees and stuff like that. So guys, and there's a progressive prize pool up to $2,000 based off the collective trading volume. So the more everyone is trading, there would be an additional prize pool given away too. And also guys, I've been doing all of my trading on Bitunix here lately. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to trade over the weekend, but we have been trading here very often. I've been watching the volume here is just so good. Like we used to say over on Femex, you know, anything over 10 million we could target because there'd be money in the order book. Guys, look how much volume is on Bitunix. It's actually insane. You know how far you have to scroll down until you get to like 20 million in an order book? Like I'm still scrolling and we're still above 20 here, right here. 19.6 Pendle, Quantum, GMT, Algorand with 16. Even Algorand has 16 million. And, you know, finding an order book that has a lot of leverage volume for Algorand isn't always an easy thing to do. But guys, and what I like most about Bitunix, no VPN, no KYC, top shelf liquidity. So head over to my Twitter, the pinned tweet at the top, get involved in the giveaway. 5 people are winning $200, giving away $1,000 altogether. And, you know, also the Telegram group is now completely shifted to Bitunix, and it's really important that we all make that shift together, because all the charts that we're getting, everything that we're looking at is focused on that exchange. I think, but I really liked VMEX, and the people there are really good, but the problem is because there wasn't that many altcoins that had significant volume that we could target. If you're doing larger trades, it would be really hard to get out of the trade. But now, since we're on Bitunix, we can target a lot more altcoins on this exchange. So the Telegram group is about to get a big facelift and is about to see a lot more charts than like the usual 6 or 7 we would target all the time. So we're going to have a lot more fun with it moving forward here. So big shout out to my guy Riggs in the chat joining the Grogger gang. Welcome to the Grogger gang. What's this Cardano which you speak of, says Decrypted. We will certainly get to the Cardano story here in a minute. Let's kind of continue through the stories here. So we talked about, we got Wyoming, West Virginia proposes a bill. Wyoming should run Treasury should run on a blockchain. I think the federal America Treasury should run on a blockchain. Maybe the Department of Government Efficiency should take care of that. But there are still things on the radar that we got to pay attention to, like this. The SEC seeks a 28-day delay to review Coinbase appeal in the crypto lawsuit. And some people are kind of, Jay Chains and I, we talked about this story before we went live, kind of saying like, hey man, like why are they bugging? Why are they taking this extra time? Like shouldn't they like be letting this stuff go? And I just think generally, I think the conclusion we made, that right here, it says right here, of its newly established task force, time takes time. And I think the new people in the SEC, now that Gary is gone, kind of got to put their heads together and catch up, so they have all the information, have all the facts, so they can make a correct decision on this case. Is that about sum it up, Chains?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, instead of rushing to make decisions that ultimately could negatively affect companies or projects or whatever it is, like, let's just pump the brakes. Like, instead of being, enforcement like with action like they've been historically, let's take a look at some things and then reevaluate. And hopefully with the new narrative, with the new administration and how things are progressively moving forward, that, even if it's a little bit slower, we're getting the right decisions, the right movement, the right action. And I think, one of the things I learned at the Ondo Summit is that still, in a lot of these regulators and a lot of these, people that were talking to, institutions and all that, the one thing that they were still saying, even now, is that they still want regulatory clarity, right? And we all know that institutions are here, but they still want that. So I think let's let it happen, because ultimately that will best affect the entire ecosystem.
Yep. 100%. And also pay attention right here, everybody. In the article, it says the SEC's request for an extension comes in response to Coinbase's petition to appeal. If approved, the new deadline will be on March 14th. So kind of just keep an eye out on what's going on with this case here. I am really waiting for the day where the Grim Reaper of regulation just kind of goes home for a while. Maybe goes to the beach, has a Corona, puts his feet in the air, puts his scythe down, and stops haunting our dreams. Because think, like, guys, we have not had a crypto bull run when we weren't scared of regulation.
Isn't that crazy?
Insane. Think about, I mean, technically the total chart is bigger now than it was at the top in 2021. So we have reached new levels, but I still feel that the bull run, in terms of the bull run we expect in our minds, it hasn't happened yet. And even when you look at the total chart, like, I'm still thinking 7, 10, maybe 12 trillion total cap.
Yeah.
And I think a catalyst, everyone's thinking, what's going to be the thing that pushes us into that FU bull run? I think it's going to be when it's super crystal clear what the regulation is, what the laws are, and that America will be, inspiring, helping along, making it. Trump says he wants America to be the AI and crypto capital of the world. Hopefully we see that play out between now and the end of the summer, so we can have ourselves a fall, have ourselves a winter, and go up into the right. That's the hope here. So
absolutely. Do you think so? One thing that I think that would be the biggest catalyst, and we've seen the institutions and the banks asking for, the ability to provide crypto to their clients. Do you think once that switch gets turned on, where we've got enough regulation, Bank of America, Chase, whatever it may be, you can go in there and instead of having to worry about private keys and all that stuff, you're like, 10% of my whatever I've got in fiat, give me a nice little basket of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and whatever else the bank offers. Like, that's it, right? That's the slam dunk.
Dude, and so you actually just said a really important point there, is that everyone's like, oh, like, is it cool that there's a Doge ETF, or like, what about a Cardano ETF? What about a this or that ETF? The more ETFs we get, regardless of their popularity, regardless of their inflows, is we're missing a piece to the liquidity puzzle. And the more suit and tie people on Wall Street that have access to crypto is going to kind of open that door a little bit more. But here's the thing that people miss out on, is that you just said it, Jay Chains, that like once you could go to the bank and say, hey, I would like to get on a basket, 10% into a basket of crypto. Well, crypto indexes don't exist yet. And why is that so important? 70% of the transactional volume in the stock market is in indexes. Once crypto gets indexes, and because it's kind of strange for like a stock market person to have a lot of exposure to just one particular stock. Like, that's kind of like, it feels to us like normal. I mean, hell, we're out here buying, $50,000 worth of Jasmine all by itself, which is just insane to these people because they like want to have that safe exposure. And that's why people kind of lean into indexes. And that's why we use the S&P as like kind of a barometer for the health of the market. So I think what you just said there, Chains, is the more ETFs we get, we will eventually get our indexes. And once we get our indexes, we're going to see the transactional volume go through the roof from the suit and tie investors.
Yep.
We on the same page with that, correct?
100%.
Okay.
Just remember, we're the flip-flops. They're the suits. That's what they call us, the flip-flops.
Yep. All right. So going to keep it rolling here with the stories. We got a monster insider trading alert for the Trump meme coin. Very interesting story here. As the fallout from Libra meme coin continues, we can talk about that in a minute. Hayden Davis has come forward with an insider trading allegation involving another token. Davis claimed a similar scheme was orchestrated around the Trump meme coin launched by obviously the president, where insiders had to pay for early access before the token went public. He alleged that select insiders purchased Trump for $500 million at a private event in Washington, D.C. Davis said during an interview with Investigate YouTuber Steven Findison, aka CoffeeZilla. I did not know his last name was Findison, on February 16th. So I will say this, that I actually talked about this on the live stream the other day, is that I actually was told that the Trump coin was coming. And I didn't believe the person that told me, because there's 100 MAGA meme coin type bullshit meme coins. And I was like, okay, bro, like, you're probably mistaken. It's probably just another one of those coins. No way the president would actually put out his own meme coin, or, on the, as he rolls into inauguration. It turns out that I was told about that. And the thing is it's kind of like a little bit of they're kind of doing some gymnastics with the title of this story, calling it insider trading, because you realize that every project has a pre-sale, right? Like, how else are these projects supposed to raise money? Like, doing a pre-sale, I don't think is inherently wrong. Like, how do you think Solana got off the ground? How do you think a lot of coins in the top 100 got off the ground? They had pre-sales. It's not like an illegal thing. I mean, sure, it could, depending on how big the piece of the pie is for the tokenomics, you could say some are more ethical than others. But also, like I said, I am not that worried about this story, and particularly the Trump coin, J-Chains, because we've talked about Trump, and I've also said that I will talk about what I'm buying this week after this in a minute. And I got to get to that super chat as well. But I think that Trump coin, Trump did it to make a statement about how he's going to regulate crypto. I think the statement he made is more important than the health of that meme coin. And two, I think that because of his reputation, they are going to artificially keep Trump coin alive. They're going to keep it bullish to save face. Thoughts?
I don't disagree with that. I think, let's take it one step back, right? And I agree with you, like with the whole like launching the coin, what it did, kind of the symbolism around it, and the bigger meaning for our ecosystem, massive. I think it was terribly diluted when the Melania coin came out less than 24 hours later, right?
That was dumb.
However, when you think about this whole, the idea of an incoming president launching a meme coin, it's great for everything in general. They have to keep it alive. They have no choice. Somebody has to keep that alive, or else it, really denigrates the entire ecosystem ideals, because what could be fundamentally the most important meme coin that we have, it can't dinosaur tail like everything else does.
Yeah.
Like it just can't.
Yeah, I think that Trump is going to have a different trajectory for sure. And I think that, they can try to jump up and down over insider trading and stuff, but I don't think anything's going to come of it.
Let's talk about insider trading really quick, because what's the difference between every other project in the history of crypto that has private seed rounds, all that kind of stuff, that technically that's an insider. You're getting, like, look at the Ondo people. The people that got in Ondo got in under 5 cents, right? And that was just because that was what was offered to the seed. Crypto is no different than stocks. I believe stocks do the same thing, where initial investors can get in at a different, much lower price than what it goes to the public. So it really is. When you think about insider, it's kind of like part of the whole game. Now, when you've got people who, I think, like Portnoy, who got like given the money back that he had lost, or some crazy thing like that, or maybe there's some other people, like there's some wild allegations going on, and who was funding all this stuff and how it was happening.
Right.
But bad insider trading is one thing, but just the ability to get in something early, there's nothing wrong with that. That's been going on since day one.
You have to realize that these people, when you get into a pre-sale, you're taking a chance.
Yes.
Just because, like, I've gotten a couple pre-sales here lately, just because I feel like because it kind of feels like anytime someone launches a project, people immediately jump to worst case scenario. Oh, it's going to be a rug. Oh, it's going to be a this. Oh, it's going to be a that. But there should be a correct way for people to launch crypto projects. And I feel that as long as you have the people in the team show their face, as long as they have the correct audits and, get like certified and stuff like that, and they're forward facing, and they kind of have like reasonable moral tokenomics, how else are people supposed to start a new project? I mean, just because if something you try to get into a pre-sale, sometimes it could become the new Ondo, or sometimes the pre-sale, the money that you just put in and it's gone. So you are taking a chance. Like and it's really unfair to say, what they're saying here in this this article, in my opinion. But let's we'll circle back to that in a minute, because I do want to talk about the Libra story. But really fast, let's do a pulse check here. Got about 200 people watching on YouTube. Guys, thank you all for being here. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. Getting kind of inching closer to 17,000. I'd like to see that happen, sometimes in the next couple weeks. Also about 550 people, it says, on X. Thank you guys for being here as well. Head over to YouTube. I want the views on YouTube. I don't care about you guys on Twitter. Go away. Okay, but I do want to hit these super chats really quick. Juan, $10 super chat a little while back. He said, "Hey AJ, if you please, what are your thoughts on ICP and Quant price predict for this run? I'm curious to see what you think." Well, I'm not going to do a full it takes time for me to do a full price prediction on any coin. Quant has been a project that I've cared less about as time has gone on. That team has made some like kind of woke mind virus type decisions, and they don't know what they're doing when it comes to marketing. That matters. That 100% matters. I mean, look at the facelift of marketing that HBAR has done, that the facelift of marketing that Algorand has done since they got their new CMO. Marketing 100% matters, and Quant has been left behind in terms of those types of, cross-border payment settlement layer type projects. Do I think Quant has potential to still have a decent bull run? Yeah. Do I think it's going to be a top 10 performer like Algorand, VeChain, and HBAR were in the last pump? No. It's in a lower category, although it could still have its day in the sun. I'm covering my bases by saying that, but I'm not buying more Quant. I have some from when I was more bullish on it. Then my mind kind of changed about that project the more I learned about how much their marketing team sucked. Okay. And so I'm going to leave that there. In terms of ICP, I think ICP is one that has a strong narrative. It has a diehard community, but that diehard community is a small group of people. I think it could grow. I think maybe that's one I could revisit. Maybe if there's like a big news story that comes out about it, or it has like another, multi-week long marketing push, kind of like a life cycle like that, maybe I'll hit another price prediction on ICP to revise my original price prediction on ICP. But as of right now, I'm not actively buying either of those coins. And like that, I hope that answers your question. There was another super chat. Reckless Robbie 636. Thanks for the $5, Reckless Robbie. AJ, congrats on the growing family. Exciting. Quick one. Convert my Matic Dot and SNX from last bull to ADA ? All down bad. LOL. I have 15K ADA current. Well, Robbie, I do appreciate the super chat, but I cannot tell you exactly what to do. I can't say, oh, take this percentage of this and this percentage of this and buy this, this, and this. I can't tell you what to do. That would be kind of crossing the line for me morally. I do like a segment called Rate My Portfolio, where I'll give you a score from -5 to 100. And I think, Jay Chains, I think we're doing a Rate My Portfolio tomorrow. I think it's time.
That'd be fun.
I think it's time to do a proper Rate My Portfolio. We haven't done one in a while.
All right.
Rate My Portfolio is coming tomorrow. But
whose portfolio?
Well, people send them in.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, cool.
People send them in. And there's one from a platinum Telegram member who sent me their portfolio. They want to remain anonymous, but they do want me to grade it. So I will take a screenshot of his portfolio and send it over. So
awesome. Looking forward to that.
Sweet.
Let's go.
But Reckless Robbie, in terms of, so my Matic Dot and SNX, all I will say is that Matic, which is now Polygon, Dot and SNX, I think you said it in your comment from last bull. I think all of those projects are last bull projects. I think POL Polygon like has a argument, but do I think it's going to be competitive, a competitive top 10 performer? No, I don't think any three of those projects will be a competitive top 10 performer. So I think I'm not going to tell you what to buy. Maybe you could put some of it into Cardano. I like Cardano. I buy Cardano, but those three projects, you need to come to this bull market. Come on down. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Wrong. So I think I answered that question. Okay. Checking the chat here for a minute. What's up, everybody in the chat, guys? Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, all the good things. So let's keep it rolling. Had a bunch of stories here. So we got to touch on this guy. Look at that face. This is the most memeable guy I think we're gonna see for like at least the next 4 days.
I don't know if he's I don't know if he's a good guy or what, but like you said, memeable face. Like he definitely looks like he could be a super villain in a comic series or whatever.
Oh, for sure. Like this guy has like a mutant implant, and he could like somehow break Batman's arm. Like I think he could. He has those eyes. Like why wear the glasses if you're looking over them?
That's the distraction.
Red flag, dude.
That's the distraction. Yeah.
So many red flags. I don't like him. No, so this has obviously been, when I first saw this story, I didn't think it was like the biggest story in crypto. And then it took me like time to realize like, oh shit, like this maybe I should have watched that CoffeeZilla video. I probably will go back and watch it, but basically long story short, he got stuck between a rock and a hard place, and there was a token, there was a meme, and he endorsed it, and he kind of got people, he was the reason retail got in, and he didn't know he was the reason retail got rugged. I think that's the fair version, short version of the story. Jay Chains, do you agree?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the TLDR.
So, here we are on Twitter, kind of talk here. This was his tweet, February 14th, about the quote, private project, quote, encouraging the growth of the Argentine economy, literally talking about the world wants to invest in Argentina, making it like kind of saying this is the this is the world investing in us. Come here, join our team, kind of vibe. And look at the chart, the classic dinosaur tail, as Jay Chains referenced earlier in the show. And now they're talking impeachment, man. They're talking impeachment right here. Opposition lawmaker Leandro Santoro says this scandal, which embarrasses us on an international scale, requires us to launch an impeachment request against the president. So they are not messing around with this at all. So here is the response from Javier, president of Argentina. A few hours ago, I posted a tweet, as I have so many other times, supporting a supposed private enterprise with which I obviously have no connection to whatsoever. I was not aware of the details of the project, and after having become aware of it, I decided to not continue spreading the word. That's why I deleted the tweet. To the filthy rats of the political caste who want to take advantage of the situation to do harm, I want to say that every day they confirm how vile politicians are, and they increase our conviction to kick them in the ass. What a bar. What a bar. So I mean, it kind of sounds to me like, but if the project did well, he would have been like, yep, that's why I talked about it. You see it? Yeah.
That's a really good point, man. Wow.
Kind of feels like what we like to refer to in the streets as a slippery slope.
The fair weather fan, if you will.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. I am interested to kind of see what progresses here. Of course, there is a lot of big videos on this. I believe the CoffeeZilla obviously covered it. Altcoin Daily has a video on it as well. So like I said, when I saw this story, I was kind of, this weekend we were moving the studio and everything. I was kind of laser focused on on kind of doing that. But I think this is one of those stories that, this guy's probably going to get impeached. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's probably the reason.
Which is crazy because he was very popular, and I feel like he did a really good job of coming in and kind of changing the vibe of whatever was going on with Argentina. But man, I tell you what, you get caught with the wrong people, or you promote the wrong product, and look what happened.
Yep. Hey, all it takes is that one. That's all it takes. But yeah, so someone says, what's with the sudden dip? And that's what I like about having this computer. Here, I'm going to put the full screen on. Back here, I can just kind of look over. I got the Solana 2-minute chart on just to keep an eye on what's going on. I really do like that as a set piece. It's my like curved monitor for like my gaming computer, but I'm just like, hey, let's put it in the set so I can keep an eye on a very large chart all the time. So we can obviously talk about some charts here in a minute. I do want to say, the whale type investor stories. Here's another one. Abu Dhabi's Mubalada invest 436 million into BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. These are the stories, guys. I'm not even going to get into the details. All I'm going to say is these are the stories you see as we get closer to a real bull market. Do you think this guy invested $436 million to scalp 3%? No. He wants $4.3 billion. All right. So let's kind of keep that on the radar here. I do want to take a quick little look at the top gainers and losers of today. We got Sonic, previously Phantom. Man, I'm still going to call it Phantom because you all know how much I love trading Phantom. Kind of the breakaway altcoin, the only one in the double-digit gainers in the past 24 hours, up 14.6%. And then, of course, underneath, we have Cardano. Hey, not bad. Let's talk about Cardano here in a minute. Aave, Optimism, Injective, Pepe, all up like kind of 3 to 5%. In the loser department, we got Jupiter, Official Trump, Radium, Solana, kind of down 7 to 5. So even SWE down to 324. And guys, if you remember over the Super Bowl weekend, we long SWE at like 310. It ran to like 355, 360, and is now coming back down the hill. We probably will be targeting another SWE trade in the Telegram group. Make sure you keep an eye out for that here very shortly. So there are obviously a couple of charts I want to pull. But first, I do want to talk about Cardano. Cardano fails to break out despite the Cardano ETF hype. And this story is from yesterday. And I kind of really only pulled this story up to talk about the filing. Last week went through the flag of filings for multiple exchange traded funds on cryptocurrencies from the likes of Grayscale, 21 shares, Canary, and others. Among the most notable advancements in the crypto investments field was the filing for GATA, a Cardano ETF. So G-ADA, Grayscale ADA, one of the biggest players in this segment of the crypto market. So guys, the fact that these filings for Cardano was starting to happen, I think it's only a matter of time until we get several back-to-back altcoin ETFs. It's only a matter of time. It's a matter of time. Maybe next month. Maybe, that's what I'm saying. But when they're talking about fails to break out, let's kind of ignore the breakout detail and let's focus on the setup, because right now Cardano on the 2 hour, or you could the 4 hour, I can even put it on the 4 hour so it's a little bit more clear. What this looks familiar to me, J Chains. It looks to me like there's a cup. You like some coffee, guys? Because it looks like there's a cup and it looks like there's a handle. All right. What is unfortunate about this is that we were at the beginning of the show very close to this breakout level. I would say it would be right here. I would go this previous high from this, I would count as the very top. All right. Now, for the sake of argument, this is a weird one to measure, actually, because generally you want to measure to like the middle of the bottom, but this one kind of skews it a little bit because look how far that wick goes down. You see how this wick's all the way down here, or even if you did it on the 2 hour, right? Because that wick's not going to be as deep on the 2 hour as it is on the 4. You see it even on the 2 hour, it kind of comes down to here. So what in this case, I'm going to kind of ignore that big wick and I'm just going to kind of take it to the heart right around there, roughly. It doesn't have to be a perfect measurement. We're going to pull this measured move up to the top. So guys, big alarm alert. The cup and handle breakout level for Cardano is at 0.830. So 83 cents is the alarm. 83 cents on Cardano. Set that alarm on TradingView. Very simple to do. So we have our cup. We have our handle. Will it break out? Will it not break out? We can't go to the future and tell you, but what I will say is that we click on this line that we drew at 83 cents. We come down, we'll get this little fella here. I'll pull it up. Yep. And I'm going to click on the clock, add alert. I'm going to click once per bar. So it goes off every time it crosses it, not just one time. So I can stay aware, and then message here. I'm going to say cup and age break ADA. Click create. And now we have an alarm set on this. So if this cup and handle breaks out, we will be notified. And then the measured move, if it was to completely play out, would take us 20% up the hill to 99 cents, 999. So just about $1. It would take us back to $1. And what's interesting is when you kind of zoom out on Cardano a little bit here, you will see that look at where we are and then look at this gap in the volume profile. All right, so this gap, so the 83 cent level kind of dips into this gap, right? And that's in the Telegram group, what we like to refer to as a striated level. So an aligned level would be like, you see how if there was a big support resistance line lined up with the point of control, or the support resistance line lined up with our measured move. And our measured move, generally measured moves take you back to support resistance levels. This one 100% does that. The move up to $1 if the cup and handle was to play out. And this level, the measured move, which is support resistance to $1, is aligned with this big spike in the volume profile. All right, that is very important because what I'm saying is that because of this spike, it's likely to come up here and hit this level and fight for a while before it continues because there's a lot of volume sitting up there. But because this level is striated, kind of fits in between the volume profile, if this alarm goes off, Cardano is very likely to at least come up to 87. Because if you look at the volume profile, you see how this bottom spike, when you pull this out, how it aligns to these support resistance levels here. Got here, here, here. What does that mean? that means that this amount of the trade, this little box, that's a freebie. That is free money, ladies and gentlemen. So if we use that as our target, is a 5.1% target up to 87 cents. So that's target number one. So if we go long at 83 cents, we're targeting 87 cents, target number one, for a 5.1% gain. And why? Why? Because this is support resistance, these levels here, and there's no volume until we get to that level, because our alarm level is a striated level with the volume profile. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. I just might make you rich. I just might make you rich. Not to mention, why do I like this for a breakout? Why do I think this is going to happen? First of all, the point of control is all the way up here. $1.07. The point of control on Cardano right now is, I don't know, 33.8% above the current price. Woo! Not to mention, let's look at just market cipher on the 4 hour. Okay, so we have, first of all, I like this. You see how this is kind of trending that way. That's big. That's big. Also, we kind of had our big dip of red, and we're kind of pushing up this way. Look, we're pushing up in the momentum wave, pushing up in the VWAP. The RSIs aren't my favorite. I would like it a lot more if if we were here on the VWAP, but the RSIs were like where they were here. We're a little heated right now, but that doesn't mean we can't stay heated. We could maybe like do a little pick and roll, like something like that. It doesn't and guys, this might take time to break out. These cup and handles don't always just perfectly, boom on their way through. This thing very well could like maybe even double handle or fight for a while. I'm not going to say it's going to happen overnight, but what I am going to say is that you guys need to react to the 83-cent alarm.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Question came in from JC, and I was kind of wondering the same thing. Like, would you take a flyer on this right now? It kind of seems like this is where it's going, especially if we're looking at like the bullish swing starting to come back into play. I know that the rule is that we react to the market, we don't guess. Like, what are your like best practices for doing a flyer like that sometimes?
What do you mean a flyer?
Like just going in right now saying, hey, it looks like it's going this way. So instead of waiting that 5%, waiting for the breakout, I want to get that additional 5%. So I'm going in now, maybe setting a tight stop, whatever it may be, but just go in now versus waiting.
Well, we're only 3.05% from the alarm level. So you're saying instead of waiting for the alarm and going now.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanted to do that, you'd obviously have to zoom in. And before we zoom in too far, let me zoom back out here for a minute. So let's appreciate, so it's kind of some previous TI I had back here. Let's appreciate the setup, the overall setup for Cardano right now. So we had this big move up, okay? Big move up. And now we got to appreciate this floor here, okay? And that kind of perfectly aligns with support resistance right there. That is 65 cents. That's like kind of no-no land. And then the wick all the way down to 50 cents, more into no-no land. The problem is that kind of the bigger downtrend setup is like this. And when we come over here and then zoom in, I'm sorry if the chart looks messy, but I'm doing my best. If we come over here, where would this start? Let me go to like a 45-minute chart just for the sake of clarity. This local downtrend, how is this going to draw? Well, the local downtrend kind of looks broken, but ultimately what I'm saying is that if you really wanted to safely trade this, like safe trading, we're in a downtrend. Like we're in a downtrend. And I always tell my group, we're in a downtrend until we're not. All right. So like and the thing with this cup and handle is that this measured move would probably take us right around, by the time this plays out, to around the top of this downtrend. And we could get shut down again right there. So it's a big deal for, it's important to keep in mind the nature of this trade, because this is we are not going long in a confirmed uptrend right now. If we were to do this, and that's super important because you need to know the barriers, the limitations of this trade. The fact that this thing very well could break this cup and handle, run through volume. It could stop here. It could stop support resistance here. It could hit this and stop. Like you have to be very careful with this trade because we're not longing into an uptrend. We're longing into a downtrend. We're going boats against the current in this trade. So anytime you're in a confirmed downtrend and you're going long, you got to be careful because like let's go back out to the 2 hour. Look at this setup. So if we were over here, right? Oh, I did not mean to do that. Actually, I do want to draw a fib on this though. But say we're over here now, right? And we're in this confirmed uptrend. Look how much easier it is to go long in this setup. You know what I mean? Because every dip is just bouncing off the 50 EMA continue. And that's what I always tell my group. You know, what's the first question you ask yourself when you're searching for confluence? Where's the 50 EMA? The 50 EMA is my best friend. And you see how right here, it every time test the 50 continues, test the 50 continues, test the 50 continues, test the 50 continues. It just bullish continuation, right? That's what happens. Look how long it did this. 50 continues. You get my point?
Yeah,
you get my point?
It continues until it doesn't.
It continues, but now we're in a downtrend. Right. All right. And that 50 EMA, like right here, is the same thing for bearish continuation. But here we are now. This is actually a really interesting spot on the 2 hour because if this hooks up, we could get a bull cross here. This does have like that kind of that curvature. Just be aware that going long here is not at all the same as going long back here because this would be a confirmed uptrend. We're going long in a confirmed downtrend. Anytime you do that, you're going boats against the current and the trade has limitations. So I would say target one would be, like I said, 87 cents, 87.3. Long alarms, 83 cents, like I said, and we could pull some levels from in here, kind of that aligned level right there, 94.8. And then $1 would be the final target because you have to say, all right, we might hit the top of this and get rejected. And then also what you also could do. So you're going to also want to have that downtrend alarm. Let me change the color of it so you can see it a little bit better. You want to have an alarm on the downtrend as well. But the thing is that when you have that trend lines alarmed, you also want to have the support resistance alarm for confirmation, because say by the time we break this, say we were to break this white line, we want to have confirmation on support resistance, which could be this 94-cent level, it could be our dollar level, it could be our $1.07 level, depending on how long it takes to get up and out. So always search for those confirmation levels. Alarms are way more important than breaking this itself, because what happens is, look, it happened over here. You're gonna barely hit this level, and then you're gonna get shut back down. So that's why you want those confirmation alarms instead of just like, oh, the alarm went off on the trend line, let's go. No. You want the confirmation alarm. The trend line's kind of just a thing for awareness. But in terms of, to answer your question, to go long now, I mean, look, 17-minute chart. This thing was perfectly rejected for the 1, 2, 3, fourth time. And this happened during this show, because when I first looked at this, when we pulled this chart up a little hour ago, this thing is down 2.65% in the past hour and a half. So what does that tell us? That tells us that Cardano is struggling to get above this level. Since Thursday, it's Monday now, we've been rejected here 4 times. That means when we break this level, that's a significant occurrence. What do? We don't trade because we feel like it. We don't trade because we're in the mood. We trade when an alarm goes off, and that alarm is a significant occurrence. And so you're telling me from all the way even over here, for the past 6 days and 13 hours, Cardano has been unable to get above 83 cents. Basically a week. More than a week. When that alarm goes off, do you know what I do in these situations even? What I do? I set an alarm right here, right above it. Like find the uppermost level and move like a half inch above, like a baby set. Because once it hits that level, because we could hit the same level again and get shut down. But if you set a little, and how much would you miss from the trade right here? Actually,
not a whole lot.
0.4. Not even 0.5%, because you hit that level. Now we're in unknown territory. We haven't been here. You get my point. I've been beating this chart up a little bit, but I like to fully explain myself on these. But we have our cup, we have our handle, and they don't always happen right away. This thing easily could flop and grope for a little while. And even if you kind of look at the current range Cardano's in, I would say even kind of pulling through like this, we kind of are in this little box here, about 10% range for 6 days and 12 hours. So even breaking this level, you could get an argument for a short here, but ultimately this back and forth stuff, I don't care about this. I don't care about the range. I care about the break. That's where the money's at.
Do you feel like, and obviously it's playing this this little zone here, but with 4 rejections over the last several days, do you feel like it's got to actually come back down to that trend line to get some more support in order to come through and punch through the top?
Well, I think the 200 EMA is kind of your guideline in this point, because like right here, you see how many times it crossed the 50. It's kind of hard to use the 50 in this instance, but if you see here, it actually followed this trend line up on the 200 EMA. So this is where if you wanted to get nifty, okay, I'm gonna long the bounce of the 200, which could have worked 1, 2, 3, 4 times in that little push there. The thing is that the short actually could have been the loss of the 200, or even the death cross right here. That could have been, you could have made an argument for a short right there. But so right now, if say this continues along, I'm more looking at how it reacts to the 200. And then if it loses the 200, then we could make an argument to short to the trend line. But that's also kind of like a what I like to call a pressure trade. It's not as, because like the way I lay my trades out, like conditionally ranging with the confluence of volume mixed with trend lines, mixed with support resistance. Is support resistance aligned or striated? Comparing that with point of control, oscillation, RSI, Fibonacci, etc. The way I do those trades, so it's like, okay, this alarm we've been ranging for 5 days. We finally get above that range for the first time in 5 days. That's a significant occurrence. And when we have a significant occurrence, that's something that's worth taking a risk on, because that's what you do when you trade. You're taking a risk. So when an occurrence happens that's worth taking a risk, that's when we get in these trades. But the problem is that people want to trade more than that. Only so many alarms go off every week when you trade this discipline of a style. The thing is that there are areas where you could take higher risk trades that aren't the same as like the kind of standard style that I have, the conditional range style. That strategy takes time, where the pressure trade style, kind of trading into the EMAs or trading away from the EMAs, or the distance between the price and the EMA. I actually had a pressure trade go bad on Friday with Dogecoin, and but you've got to be willing to take chances, because not every trade is going to be this perfect combination of confluence. You have to find more trades than just the major alarms. So it's one of those things that how much risk do you want to take? How much risk do you want to take? And this is one of those situations where if you want to try to scalp the range, be my guest, but I try to tend to stay away from that kind of stuff. I'm going to be there when the real break happens. So obviously, big shout out to the Cardano community. I am super bullish on this project long term. And actually, let me pull up
wait, really quick. Shout out to the ADA gang.
Oh, the ADA gang. Facts.
That's right. Shout out to the ADA gang.
ADA gang in the house. Really quick, I did want to go to a fresh trading view chart. I know you guys can't see it yet. 1 minute. I wanted to go to the daily, share this app instead. I wanted to pull a fib from the bottom of the swing low, which would have been here to this. Yeah. So we are literally sitting directly on the 0.5. And what I actually failed to recognize in my original analysis is that the 0.5 fib was the previous 2024 high. So the fact that we actually came down here, tested golden pocket 618, actually wicked down to 786 down here, but not all the way. But the fact that we bounced 618, that was kind of like, hey, buy me right there. But so this level that we're fighting, which was the previous 2024 high and the 0.5 fib level, this is extremely important for Cardano to put up a fight here, because a lot of projects already have death crosses on the daily. Cardano doesn't have one, and it doesn't mean it has to have one. This is kind of forming what I like to call an EMA sandwich, when the 50's coming down, the 200's coming up, and the price gets smushed between the EMA. So from a daily chart perspective, this might take a while. Like this thing could range sideways in the EMA sandwich before it's pressured into picking a break, which is why I'm hoping that that 4-hour cup and handle is a catalyst for it to get above the 50 EMA on the daily, because that would, because if this is, bullish continuation holding above the 50, we lose the 50. If we hold the 200, which we basically did right here, we could still make a pretty clear argument for like an uptrend like this. So if we respect this uptrend, connecting, let me scoot this over so you guys can see it, connecting the local bottom to this right here. If we respect this uptrend, Cardano, still overall bullish. It's technically still in an uptrend. Although it's locally in a downtrend, if that makes sense. So yeah, I haven't looked at the chat in literally 5 years. Oh my God, that was an insane CA ran right there.
It was good though, man. It was very informative, and I feel like you set up a lot of the situations. And really quick, excuse my naivety, but the 618, that's like, when you talk about fib, that's like the golden, like you're always going to see it for the most part touch that, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good indicator where, like you said, like the buy where you circled, that's the screamed buy me zone. That's because like it hit like in the buy me zone.
Yeah, 100%. All right, I do have to mention something in the chat here today. I'm not letting that slide, not for a minute. I understand that people that aren't here and don't see the day to day with us, that don't realize the true narrative of the situation, we'll just come in here and say, oh, you guys failed, BitBoy, disloyal, blah, 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 blah. Bro, you don't know what you're saying. J-Chains and I, to this day, have Ben's back. We want to see Ben get the help he needs. We want to see our friend Ben, who glows and lights up a room. We want to see that Ben come back 100%. Are we supposed to just not stream? Are we supposed to just not work because someone's struggling? No. We love him where he's at. We want to see him continue. But for you to say that we're disloyal, you're just stirring the shit pot is what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And you guys can think whatever you want. I think J-Chains, myself, and Ben all know the true north of this situation. And to suggest that we are disloyal friends is a gross, bro. Okay. I said my piece. If I haven't proven that I'm a loyal friend at this point, and this is the point where you think I'm an unloyal person, okay. Just I don't even want you in my audience. You know what I mean? You can fuck right off, in my opinion. But it is what it is. People are going to be like that. And I'm always going to hold it down. And people always tell me to ignore the chat and don't feed the trolls and blah, blah, blah. But no, I still feel when people are purposely doing something to try to, because this is what happens. If you ever notice on Twitter, you do a post. If there is one negative comment in the chat, one, it's like all the other trolls see, oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Let's go. Let's go. And then you're off to the races, which is why I tend to like eliminate those situations. So people don't, so there's a generally positive type vibe, positive type attitude, because I don't want like my post to be a feeding ground for trolls. So it's just like, but so although you should not feed the trolls, and some people would debate if I should have reacted to that chat or not, I'm going to, because I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to say, well, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. And we know the truth of the situation, and we're going to continue talking about crypto. That's it. Hey, it's out to Ellie with the $2 super chat. You two need to collab daily. This is fire. Crypto Face with a $50 super chat. Hey fellas, I think this is now my cue to guys. If you want a 15% discount from Market Cipher, click the link down below in the description. Use the code, I think it's Grogger15, and get yourself that discount. And you know what? There's a couple more trade setups that I do wish to talk about now. Oh, dude, look at that Ethereum move down. Oh, so I know I do this. So sometimes when before I go to bed, if I'm thinking about entering a trade in my sleep, I will draw the line on where the price is, and I'll draw a little blip at that exact moment in time. And look at where I drew my blip last night. Look. Oh, I should have trusted my gut on that one. I didn't get in a trade, but I almost did. I was literally looking at the order book like, and when I first looked at it, I was actually thinking short. I was thinking this. And then I was like, well, when I saw this kind of wick out, and then I like the order book kind of started to flip green, I was like, nah, this might be a really good spot to go long. I should have listened to myself, but you know, hey, at least here's the thing. You're going to paper trade against yourself sometimes. And even if you don't enter the trade, seeing me drawing this and coming back the next morning and seeing, shit, I was right, I should have went for it. You're going to be right more and more and more and more and more. And you're going to get that gut instinct. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. And give yourself that time.
Absolutely, man. It's like you practice these things, you watch, you're on the right track, you had the right setup, you were doing all the right things. There's always another trade. Remember that. And I think, FOMO is one of the biggest killers in a lot of this industry, is people they enter at the wrong point. Like there's always another trade. Just remember that. You didn't miss anything. There'll be another one.
Yep. 100%. I do have a couple really important charts I want to show you guys here in a minute, but I do want to, Tom Delfino left the $2 super chat. Thoughts on converting graph for HBAR? Hey, Jay, do you want to come answer that question? No, the Glitter Queen said, how dare you? So here's the thing. The graph underperformed the last pump. Does that mean I abandoned that project? No. No. Am I buying as much graph as I was? Am I buying more of other coins right now? Right now, I'm buying Ondo. I'm buying Ondo and Jasmine. That's what I've bought, and VeChain. That's what I've bought lately, if you guys want to know. But when people, so this is a perfect example of when people used to ask me, AJ, should I buy Algorand or HBAR? I say, I'm not answering that question because I have both. And the point is to be diversified. And that's my answer to that question. I have the graph and I have HBAR. I don't want one more than the other. I like both. Yeah. I'm holding both.
One thing to look, and you could probably pull this up and look on the chat. And this is something that I use like on my show, because I was setting up a Pumptober, right? Uptober portfolio. And so I cross-reference where some coins were back in like the late September point before we got to October, right? HBAR is one of those coins that was like in the 5 cent range, and that's probably like 20 cents or 24 cents, whatever it is now. So it's in another stratosphere where a lot of other coins are either at or below that same price that it was at in the fall. And I feel like when you look at, if you were trying to analyze the graph or HBAR, in my opinion, I would go graph because it underperformed so much. The potential of it performing this next time is much greater than the 5x that HBAR already did.
Yep. Yeah. I do feel that the ceiling is much higher for HBAR now. You do at this point, like you sort of have to manage expectations with Hedera at the moment. Here, I'll just go like this. Because we have to realize market cap 8.9 billion. So let's just basically say 9 billion. So it would double up, 42 cents would be 18 billion just for this to double up. That's a lot of money, guys. The HBAR, yeah, exactly. But HBAR is number 22 by market cap. When we were originally talking about HBAR, when I was buying heavy in HBAR, guys, it was 5 cents. It was 6 cents. This thing has climbed up and stayed there, which means that it's going to be strong. It's going to have a bull run, but this isn't going. I think from this point, the graph might multiply more than HBAR. based off simple math. So let's just basically say 8.9 billion. Let's just say that it's 9 billion, just to have an even number here. And we'll go to the graph. All right, which is 1.3 billion, 1.4 billion. Do you really think the inflows for H bar are going to outpace the graph 8.9 to 1.4?
The only thing that could potentially change that whole thought process is the US based basket, right, of assets. If we do that, and H bar is made in America, where I don't know where the graph, to be honest with you.
It's a good question. It's a good question. I'm not sure where it's based out of. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think that's why I hold both. That's why I hold both, for real. And I think that the graph, obviously, they used to be, the graph in H bar used to be very close in market cap. I remember the graph being larger than H bar. And I think the graph going from 1.3 billion to where H bar is now is a much more obtainable goal than H bar 10xing from here, which would require basically $90 billion. I think the graph is more likely to go to 9 billion than Hedera is to go to 90 billion. That's kind of where I stand, unfortunately. The H bar pump too. People don't appreciate how far it pumped and how much of its value it held. Hedera is a rock solid project, but this is kind of a situation where we kind of made our money already. Is that bad to say?
No, I think there's a lot of projects that are they're worth their weight in gold. They're very, very well appreciated, I think, as we see the ecosystem grow. But maybe the speculation phase of it is over. It's now time for it to go on like a corporation. You're not going to win year after year after year with companies that have established themselves. And I feel like right. H bar, maybe there is a little bit more to run, but I don't think it's the same amount of X's as some other projects that are also well positioned,
right,
the graph we're talking about.
For sure. There's a couple more charts I wanted to talk about today. I do want to kind of look at Bitcoin here for a second. Let me get rid of this old pennant that we had. Hey, this was worth its weight in gold in the Telegram, that breakdown there. That was a good trend line to have there. But so this is actually the levels that I gave the Telegram group on Bitcoin, and I haven't updated yet because it's kind of just been down here now. So we kind of have to add to these levels, where I would say, and it's actually kind of tough to do that because of, I would say, I would just draw one here at this bottom right there. That's at 94,064, basically 94,000. Then we have this wick down here, 91,250, 91,500, I'd say. And so this is actually one of those deals where if you were to try to draw a downtrend, this looks strange because it's all the way up here if we touch these two together. Okay. Oh, let me fix that for a second. All right. Come on, brush. Work with me now. There we go. All right. And then if you were to try to connect these ones, it would come through like that. So it really wouldn't work to draw that unless you connected these two, this and this. Get rid of this. All right. And then that actually kind of is more representative of where we are right now, because although it cuts through this middle, it's still perfectly rejected from there. So just sometimes with trend lines, they don't completely matter as much as the level of themselves. And even if we're in a situation where a trend line does kind of cut through some of it, I still just like to have it there just to keep an eye on it. Because if something's in a confirmed up or a confirmed downtrend, that really kind of helps me guide my trades. And as you can see, guys, this has been impossible trading for Bitcoin, because we basically had this kind of whipsaw, right, where we went and then up and then down. All right. But if we kind of ignore that big move and we kind of just look at this flat range between here and, even here, where most of the time, except for that one wick, Bitcoin has spent the past 12 days and 16 hours inside of a 4% range. 4% range. That's sideways trading. People wonder why sometimes I don't post as much in the Telegram group as I'd like to. Right there. Because what are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with that? You know, and let's include the wick just for the hell of it, because I ignored the wick on that one. Let's go from the very bottom of that wick from here. Yeah, Bitcoin has a 5.4% range in 12 days and 22 hours. So 13 days, 5.4% range completely, including the wick. So what I'm saying here is that sure, we kind of have these other levels that have been kind of guiding us from the past here. I'm going to ignore those. I'm going to draw this level here. Actually, I'm going to go to this line, the top of this wick right there. This is 930. So let's type that in. Type boom 98,930. Okay. And then, oh, not that. And then we're going to draw this level here. But let's go to, I'd say this, which would be 95263. 95263. And then, of course, this wick level, that which we actually included when we drew it in, 94105. So those are the big three levels for me and Bitcoin at the moment. And the 95263 level, the previous low, that's that right there. And we are kind of fighting that level at the moment. So guys, basically, I do not care about the 5% range Bitcoin's been in for 13 days. We care about the break. So keep an eye on those levels, set some alarms. Also, people saw a story today about XRP, a cup and handle, hinting at 25% gains. Well, let's talk about
give that to me. Give me those gains, baby.
Let's talk about this cup and handle. So when I first said cup and handle, what the hell are you guys talking about? I thought that they meant that this was a cup. And I was like, that is one crooked fucking cup, guys. You're spilling. That's an inside joke between me and a friend. And hey, this little downtrend confirmation breakout that we drew in the group. This is I'm actually giving you guys the Telegram group XRP chart. You better hurry up and write these levels down. This was a correct trend line break with confirmation trade, 17% in 7 days. Not bad. But the problem is that it took forever for this trade to happen, because if we kind of look at this range here, so if we are just zooming in and looking at these white lines, oops. All right. So this actually was, ignoring the wicks, XRP was in an 11.7% range for 11 days, and it finally broke. What they're referring to with the cup and handle is this. So let's get rid of this trend line. We nailed that trade. Congratulations. What they're talking about is this cup. And now this is forming a handle. That's what they're talking about. So let's go ahead and draw that, where we have the neckline would be here. It'd be $2.842. So let's type that in. 2.842. All right. And then measured move would be here to here. All right. So this would be, measured move would take us up to $3.39. That would be 29% from where we are right now. And it would be 19.1% from the breakout level. And interestingly enough, I say measured moves always take us to support resistance.
Wow.
Look at where that takes us to. Measured moves tend to take us to support resistance. Perfect road back to the all-time high. So keep an eye on this. So what are we going to do here to investigate is there going to be some sort of curvature to when is the curvature of this handle going to form? Because we have our cup. Now we just need the curve of the handle, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of zoom in on like a 23-minute, 12-minute, 17-minute type chart. This one's 23. We're going to draw this trend line here. Okay. Boom. And then we're going to, I would go from maybe here. So I would kind of draw a level from that high. So each high, we're going to draw a level. So that would be $2.72. This high here, would be $2.76. This high here, $2.80. And then, of course, we have our level up at the top. So when we break out of the downtrend, which is the yellow line, let me make it bigger. So this big yellow line is the downtrend. All right. But whenever, so we're all the way down here right now. So we got some time, right? But whenever we XRP flops and groups, whatever, whenever it breaks the downtrend, then we can start talking about the confirmation, because the confirmation would be the previous highs that we just drew in. And I, vocalize the levels to, and then you can even kind of talk about some trades to get you to the cup and handle target. And then, of course, once the cup and handle breaks out, there's that whole trade as well. So definitely, draw the bigger trade, draw that bigger that 2.842. That's a big level for XRP, but also include this local downtrend and the local stuff, because right now, 23-minute chart, this death cross is happening just now. This thing might suffer a little bit before we get to have a celebration the day we break out of the cup and handle. So
is there any kind of range that you can expect on a cup and handle, or length of time that it would take for it to complete its pattern?
I mean, they're all different, man. They're all different. Like maybe you could go back and because some of them, they all happen on different time frames. Sometimes a cup and handle will happen on a daily chart over a year, and sometimes it'll happen on a 2-hour chart where the cup was formed during the beginning of February and it's been 17 days. So this is more of a local pattern. So I guess, if you're looking at a formation that took 18 days to form, or a formation that took 180 days to form, kind of use that as like a guideline on, okay, this is a more local setup than a multi-month long. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I hope that answers your question. So we talked about Cardano. I don't feel like talking about Bitcoin dominance, but I will show you the chart. Remember the big pump we had at Thanksgiving. This is all it took. That's all Bitcoin dominance had to fall for us to have that pump. That's it. So let's keep an eye on Bitcoin dominance. Of course, the 58.7, that has been a big support resistance level for dominance. And the break of that level kind of tipped us off for the big move down. So if you're one to follow dominance, we're still above 60%. Benjamin Cowan is still doing a river dance as we speak. But hey, I give it all the props in the world to Benjamin Cowan. Like, dude's actually a G. Much love and respect to that guy. And he called it for sure. But yeah, and also everybody make sure, head over, start trading on Bitunix, guys. Click the link down below. Get yourself signed up. Best exchange to trade right now. No KYC, no VPN. Still got a $1,000 giveaway live. It's the pinned tweet at the top on Twitter. Like, retweet, and sign up for the link to get yourself involved. 5 people will win $200. And the deposit bonus is also live, where deposit 100 to get 50, 400 to get 100, or 1,000 to get 200. Depending on your deposits, you get VIP tiers, which helps you with your trading fees. And also there's a progressive prize pool up to $2,000 based off the collective trading volume of the promo. There's still several days left. So guys, all you have to do is sign up with that link on Twitter. If you send $1,000 to that account, you get $200. That's not even giveaway money. That's a free $200 just for funding that account with $1,000. Why not make a free $200 today? To get in on this, go to the pinned tweet, and click on the promo. Do that tweet. Do what it says in that tweet and get yourself in on that $200. Also, quick second. Got to give a shout out to Legacy Network, sponsor of the channel. Do appreciate them. Basically, it's a gamified educational platform. It's like anything education, from psychology to sociology to math to science, to anything you want to learn. You want to just kind of revisit education and learn some skills. I'm all for self-education. I'm all for self-discipline. These are the things that got me to where I am in crypto, because I self-taught myself crypto. And I think that what they're doing is really awesome, kind of giving people a platform to kind of reinvest in their education. I'm all for that. They have over 500,000 downloads on the Apple Store and Google Play Store. It's a really awesome app. The token, I'm not contractually obligated to talk about the token, but the token's doing pretty good. I'd like to see that pick up as well. But all in all, just click the link down below if you want to download the app just to check it out. Why not? Big shout out to Legacy for sponsoring this channel. I do appreciate you guys. So Very cool, man. Well, we've been going live for I just lost you, Chains. We've been going live here for about an hour and 20 minutes. I do appreciate all of you for being here. Got over 200 on YouTube. It says we have 1,000 on Twitter. That seems insane, but I do appreciate you all for being here. Let me check the chat here for a minute. Aerodome, Render, Filecoin. AJ's busting out the Cartman voice. The good old days. Yeah, so this week we are doing a live stream every day, and then I intend to do a members only stream on Friday as well. I have a video coming out today about a pretty cool project that is like, what if you had an AI version of yourself that made content for you? That's what this project is.
Yeah. Okay.
Like literal digital twins that it's like beyond AI agents. It's like a copy of you that makes content. And that's what they're working on. It's not like done, but they're working on it.
That sounds awesome.
Check it out. It's a project called Antics. They are the pre-sale stage. It is a chance. It's taking a risk, but I'm not against, talking about pre-sale projects that are doing really cool shit. I'm not against that at all. So definitely keep an eye out for that video. Really interesting stuff. I go pretty far down the rabbit hole into the tech. Like I said, we are live streaming every day this week, and then Monday, Tuesday next week, because we're going to ETH Denver. And if you're going to be at ETH Denver, or if you're going to be at the Karate Combat Fight at ETH Denver, make sure you come say hello. I'd love to see you guys. Also, Tuesday, we are releasing the Algorand interview with John Allen Woods. I really wanted to have that out to you on Saturday. Unfortunately, that video is a really long interview, and my editor couldn't get it done in time. No harm, no foul. All good. I was bummed because I told everyone it would come out on Saturday, and I could not get it out on Saturday. So all good. So that video will be coming out Tuesday. So today is the AI video. Check out that video. It's really cool. That project is probably going to do really well. And then Algorand video tomorrow. And then I'm probably gonna hit a portfolio video sometime this week. Maybe I'll throw a price prediction in there. I'm gonna try to have a bunch. We got this kind of new studio set up. Really excited to get to work. So I really appreciate you all. Make sure you sign up for Bitunix, get in on that giveaway, go fund your account, get a free $200 for just putting $1,000 in an account. You get $200. Why not? Also, if you want to sign up for the Telegram group, click the AJ Alpha group at gmail.com. Sign up for the Telegram group. We will be posting in there a lot this week. We had a lot going on last week, as you all know. We had to move the studio over the weekend, so I do apologize. I for the lack of posts in the group. I'm only one human. I am merely one man, but I am going to make an effort this week to put a lot of setups in there. Cause like I said, there's a lot more coins we can target now that we're trading on Bitunix. So if you're in the Telegram group and you haven't signed up for Bitunix yet, I'm telling you, you got to get over there, because I'm going to be giving you all coins that the other exchanges don't have or don't have volume to trade for. So make sure you get over there. So I do appreciate, each and every one of you. Shout out to Andy S, Blue Cheese, Texas Grogger, Ellie, Crypto Antagonist, Randall Dance, Mr. Mojo, JC. You guys rock. J-Chains, we lost you on the camera, but
I don't know what happened, but I'm still here.
We can still hear you though. You sound great.
Thank you.
You sound great. But everyone, that's all
everybody.
I got for today. Have a safe rest of your day. Smash the like button on the way out the door. Subscribe to the channel. Get rich or get wrecked. Later.